Alice Evans and I go to Huddersfield Grammar School in England. Today I'm going to make a key lime pie. The ingredients are 300 grams of plain flour, 60 grams of icing sugar, a tablespoon of ground ginger, unsalted butter, 180 grams, and 3 egg yolks and some water. For the filling there is 4 bits of stem ginger, 7 limes, which is zest and juice, a tin of condensed milk, which is 397 grams, 4 egg yolks and 300 ml of double cream. And for the Italian meringue, there's 250 grams of granulated sugar, water and 4 egg whites. We need to wash our hands. Next, we're going to make the pastry for the pie. So we need to put the flour, icing sugar, then we need to add the diced butter and rub in until it looks like fine bread. As you can see, this is now fine breadcrumb. Next, we need to add the ginger. Split the yolks. We need 3 yolks for the pastry. Just gotta wash my hands. So to the egg yolks, we add 2 tablespoons of water. We add that into here, and with a knife, we cut it. You do a circle motion and then cut down the middle. As you can see, it's now formed a ball. So now we're going to wrap it in cling film and put it in the fridge for 20 minutes. When you're working with the butter, it starts to melt a bit. I've now got the pastry out of the fridge and it's nice and cool, so now I'm going to roll it out. I need to scatter a bit of flour so it doesn't stick to the surface. You want to roll it to about a coin thickness. So now if you roll it onto the pin, it will make it easier for you to transport. So if you get a little bit of pastry and you just press the sides in. And the secret with pastry is not to play with it too much. Now we've got to prick it with a fork a few times. And then with a knife, we just use the back of it to trim the edge of the pastry off. If you've got some left, I like to make little jammy turnovers, and then we need to refrigerate this again for 20 minutes. We need to preheat the oven for 200 degrees. Next, this has been chilling for 20 minutes. I've got some baking parchment, and we're going to use ceramic baking beams to weigh it down. And now we put this in the oven for 13 minutes. For 13 minutes. So now I've blind baked this. I baked it at 180 degrees for 13 minutes and then I baked it for a further 10 minutes. You can make the filling for the pie. So we can put the zest, the juice, and I'll show you how I've juiced these. So we put the juice, the yolks and the condensed milk. So I've opened this with a tin opener and I'm going to put this, so I'm going to whisk that with a wire whisk just to incorporate all the ingredients. So now I've just made it so it's smooth. I'm going to cover that and put it in the fridge to cook. The stem ginger, which is 4 tablespoons, which I'm going to put on the base of the pastry. So I'll spread that. And now next we're going to put the filling. I'm going to stir that up to loosen it. And you don't have to use all of it. If you've got some left, you can just whip it up and use it as a mousse. So put that back in the fridge when we want to use that again. So now we need to refrigerate this and then for an hour so the filling can set. So now we're making the Italian meringue. We are dissolving the sugar in 5 tablespoons of water until the sugar has dissolved. When the sugar has dissolved, you turn up the heat and boil steadily until a syrup has formed. So now it's bubbling and it's coming to sugar syrup. So whilst that's doing that, I'm going to whip the egg whites until they form stiff peaks. Pour the hot syrup into the egg white mixture slowly. I've now got the pie out of the fridge and it's been setting for an hour. Take it off the loose base and put it on there. Now I've whipped the meringue so it's nice and smooth. So we put that in a piping bag. And a good tip for the piping bag is to put it in a cup whilst you're doing it. Pressure. So I'm just piping it on in a border around the edge. So now we're going to brown the edges of the meringue just to get a bit of colour. For finishing touch, I've just sliced up the last lime and put that in intervals along. And that is how you make a key lime pie.